So I sort of love having conversations with Aquariuses because they always make my mind explode and have a little mini orgasm, right? And so tonight I was talking to an Aquarius when we had like this epiphany moment. Some time ago I was in New Jersey using a benefit card from New York. And when I went to hand it to the cashier to swipe it, he looked at me crazy and was like, hey, that's your card, you swipe it and put your information there. And so I did that, but when I was doing that, it made me think like why I had ever been doing it any other way. Whenever I use my debit card, I don't hand it over to anyone. And what the psychology of that means, and to basically break that down, I asked an Aquarius that tonight. And we drew a few different conclusions, some of which were places like prison, homeless shelters, and systems like public assistance all operate by the same playbook, and it is to inevitably leave you helpless, hopeless, defenseless, and dependent and incapable of taking care of yourself, like a zoo animal that have grown accustomed to having everything done for them and lost their survival skills, for one. For two, you'll notice a lot of the delis and whatnot will do that so quickly, and right after they'll want to know and be very pressing about whether you want your receipt. Now, another thing me and the Aquarius broke down was that is a con and that is a scam. That is a way for them to identify if you more often than not say no to the receipt. Now, why would a person say no to their receipt? Well, if you're spending money that you already feel is not yours, money that when you spend it, you're made to feel ashamed of it, that it doesn't really count. You can only use it in some places. It's dehumanizing, devaluing even to use. It puts you at a distance to your buying power, right? And so you start to feel like the money is really not even yours, and so to hell with the receipt, and probably say no a lot of times, at least until your balance is going down, just to know when you're coming close to your limit. Well, if those delis recognize that you say no enough, who's to say that you wouldn't come in there and buy a bottle of water and they wouldn't run it for $60? You see, what we don't understand is when you show that little benefit card, is that it shows something about you, that you are a victim, that you are wide open for exploitation and corruption in the worst ways, because in being in the system in and with of itself, you're being corrupted and exploited. And so it furthermore invites this aspect into your life. Now, the point that the Aquarius brought up that was mind-blowing to me is that he said, yeah, it's a great point that you mentioned when you spend your debit card, they don't touch your debit card. Why, I bet you if a white man came into a store with his black card, they would never touch his card, just off of like a germ level, out of respect for people's money, right? And so in that, there is an infantilization attached to that, hey, you're a fuck up, you're a loser, you're a screw up, you're not even capable of swiping your own card and inputting your own information. Let me do it for you. In addition to possibly fucking you over too and inputting an inaccurate amount with hopes that you won't pay attention and request your receipt. Black people, wake up. More important, get away from the curse that is public assistance, that is prison, that is homeless shelters. There is honestly in this life no such thing as true help. Only exploitation and corruption under the guise of help. We can only help ourselves and each other.